What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show. So, I've talked about this in the past. As many of you may already know if you've listened to some of my podcasts, I've been living in India for the past half a year. And living in India, I grew up here in the house that I'm in right now. I was 12 when I moved to the States. Living in India comes with it's an assault on your senses. If you ever come to India, it is not a vacation, it is an assault on your senses. It comes with its peculiar things that you won't find every day in America. Like in America, we have stray cats. Here, cows roam the streets. Instead of stray cats, they have stray packs of monkeys by the hundreds, maybe even thousands in certain areas. And I'm talking about on busy streets. So just the other day on Monday is my rest day for my workout. I don't go to the balcony usually, except to maybe catch some fresh air. I don't go to the balcony, and I heard my mother tell my father how monkeys have come into the neighborhood. And I've seen them. I only see them going to the hospital and coming back. I don't leave the house much. So I really only see them not in these residential areas. So she was telling my father like it's something concerning, like it's not something that's usual. And of course, later on, I followed up and I was like, how did you hear that there's monkeys? I asked how she knew. Like, is there some monkey hotline that everybody gets on as soon as there's a sighting in the neighborhood of monkeys? Like, I want to know how you know that there was monkeys. Unfortunately, it wasn't that organized. She just so happened to hear it from the housekeeper who, going inside and outside, he saw the monkeys on our balcony. And she told me it was a good thing that I wasn't working out today, that I wasn't on the balcony today. And then they both, my housekeeper and my mom, this is in the kitchen, this conversation, they started to tell me things about the monkeys. They said things like, and that's what, in a hilarious way, got me to start thinking about the metaphor in monkeys on the balcony. They started saying certain things to me about these monkeys that are hilarious and deep in a funny way. They first said that they come randomly. So they can come in and out of any neighborhood randomly. You don't usually see them in these densely packed residential neighborhoods where there's not as much open area for them to play in. But they're still in busy streets, but you just don't see them usually in these neighborhoods. So they said they can come randomly. They can stay as long as they want until they decide. These monkeys live throughout the streets and they usually tend not to come to these residential areas. But that's not to say that they won't. And when they do, it's hundreds of them. And they can stay as long as they decide until they are bored and move on to whatever next area. This is how they're telling me. They can come randomly, they can stay as long as they want until they decide, until they get bored and move on to the next area. And I started thinking about how trouble visits us in this unplanned way. Chaos is known to visit when we expect it the least, and we don't expect it to come so close to home. And when it does, it's plentiful. When it rains, it pours, right? When they come in groups, hundreds of them. Hundreds. And they take over the mental neighborhood and terrorize it. Another thing that they said to me in conversation is that no one can do anything about them. So there's no animal control or no authority that you can call. Nobody touches these monkeys. Monkeys in the Hindu religion are holy. There's a monkey god, a god that has a monkey face, Hanuman. He's the god of strength. He's known to carry a mountain in his hands. So nobody bothers. You can't call anybody if there's a bunch of monkeys in your neighborhood. They must play out their course and leave at will. She said they might slap you. No, the housekeeper told me this. That they might even slap you. They can do whatever they want. And in a sense, you must submit to them and take the slap. And don't our disturbing thoughts whiplash us in a similar way? Don't they wake us up to our existence in a way that to let their presence be known, to let their presence be known? I'm here. I'm in your neighborhood. They shake us to our core, abuse us even. Where do I file a battery case against these monkeys? They told me they're even known to go into people's houses, open up their fridges, and loot their food. Your sustenance at risk, your nourishment, your crazy thoughts, our troubles, visiting us, taking over our neighborhood, threatening the order of everything. And the reason why I started thinking about this is right after my workout, I tend to meditate. And when I go to meditate, I think about this. When I close my eyes and meditate after my workout, I'm fighting the monkeys in my mind in preparation for them showing up while I'm meditating. My eyes are closed. Even if I haven't seen them in the last 2 days, because this was on Monday, and they're maybe bored already and gone, the mind still continues to stay alert and prepared in case they come back. The sounds of the squirrels on the tree now are imagined into a gang of monkeys. The mind extends everything to unnecessary, disproportionate means. It's the monkey mind. It's the irony. Our random thoughts are often compared to the monkey mind, the untamed, the wild and flailing from one branch to another without much control, with just enough degree of understanding, but not enough to be civilized. Much of my mind is at the mercy of these monkeys. Much of my peace disturbed by the influx of unruly thoughts. My sense of safety abused with no determined date of their exit. Almost as if they came to claim dominion and I must submit. And I do. So many times I do. I am powerless to their influx, to their coup. So how do you manage the neighborhood monkeys? What do you do if there's monkeys on your balcony? Don't eat bananas on the balcony. Don't tempt fate. Respect their season and their passing through. Ultimately, you don't have a choice. So just having a healthy relationship with it is the most that you can control. Control the controllables. Let them know who's boss. That's how you deal with them. Just let them know who's boss. Just kidding. I wouldn't try that with real monkeys. You might not like the result. But with your thoughts, you can stand up to them to a degree and not accept them. But you can't hurt them, remember? They have diplomatic immunity. Free reign to stay. So playing this eyes closed mental loop, this mental martial arts with them is not an advisable plan of action. It's not a strategy to apply. It's not time to gear up for war. But you do have to protect yourself. And the way you do that is you have parts of yourself that are untouchable, like the doors that protect you from the outside. Have a boundary inside of you that cannot be touched. A place you are always safe. Have an escape plan just in case they're extra hungry that day and willing to slap you. But having some real foundational core beliefs about you that are unshakable and undeniable and impenetrable to attack. Protect yourself, but don't cower. Don't let it deter you ultimately. The monkeys are used to people. They're mostly friendly. I wouldn't go as far as to pet them, but when you see them out in the busy streets, they can coexist in harmony with people. There's people working around them, walking around them. Even in their unruly format, they are part of the landscape. They belong right alongside everything else. They don't stop life. The shops, the people, the cars, everything, life continues. And more than anything, you must accept they are doing exactly what they're supposed to. What looks like harm to us, disturbance to us, is just upsetting our perfect little civilized fantasy that we've constructed of the order that we are so in love with. But they are as natural to the environment as we are, if not more. Responding to their existence and their insurgence with haste only makes life stop for you. Welcome to chaos. They're so unbothered, their life continues regardless. Who's really the boss? I thought this was a lighthearted example of how we are so easily thrown off. How fast your surroundings can turn into a jungle. All it takes is some monkeys on the balcony. I love you all. Hang tough.